I had a thought. What if the Sidemen had flags? I'll be doing 4 Sidemen in this episode and 3 in the next. Now, let's start with the first Sidemen. KSI. Now, as for the flag, I took one look at his logo, which I think he barely uses, I could be wrong. Anyway, I thought to myself, yes, black and red. So that's how I was gonna do it. Now, I haven't made a diagonal split flag in a minute, so I decided to use that. Now, at least when I think of KSI, I think of Sidemen, boxing, music, pretty questionable one at that, and entrepreneurship with Prime and nothing else. So I added a star to represent those things. Now, I wanted to include knowledge, strength, and integrity. Well, the ones that he said himself at least. Anyway, I made an eagle with an owl's head and KSI's hair, and with a shield on his chest. This shows that he has strength in his body, represented by the eagle, knowledge in his head, represented by the owl, although that's just a myth, and integrity in his chest, represented by the shield. Now, along the way, I made this monstrosity, which, Jesus Christ, get the fuck off my screen. Here's the flag, here's something pretty to look at. Rotushaw. Ah yes, Rotushaw, the baby of the group. That's why JJ wants to get rid of him.
Now, Harry's the baby of the group, which is why JJ's so keen to get rid of him.
I fucking love that, bros. That's why Steven Tries is my favorite Sidemen guest of all time. Pause. Editing me here. I just realized how much of a fucking idiot I was. I thought it was Steven Tries who said that, bros. It was actually Max Fosh. Regardless, Steven Tries is still my favorite Sidemen guest because of, well, he had other good bros like this, for example.
Simon has a kids charity called MM7. Or as Vic pronounces it, 7.
Anyway, Rotushaw is from Guernsey and I'm pretty sure everyone knows this. The flag of Guernsey looks like this. It has a cross within a cross, which is nice and a very, very English design, I must say. But I have an idea. You see, this is the flag of Latvia. Looks pretty simple and cool. Now you may be asking, why am I using the flag of Latvia as inspiration despite it having no correlation with the Sidemen at all? And the answer to that is, you're right, it doesn't. But in my opinion, this flag is very underrated. It's the only 3-stripe flag that you can distinguish from others when they're all grey. For example, which one here is Latvia? Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna combine these 2 flags in Rotushaw's colors. Now, this stripe represents 1, the trajectory of Harry's snowball when he lasered Behzinga.
How? It's here.
Oh my,
And also the spectrum. Now, I could leave it at that, I think it looks fine. But if I were to quiz you which YouTuber this is, you wouldn't have a clue that it would be Rotushaw. So, I decided to add his badge/logo. But while snooping around, looking for a good PNG of his logo, I found this redesign which I actually like better. So all I had to do was take that, make it his colors, which I nabbed from the original logo. Although I thought about using white, but that kind of ruined the blue scheme going on, so I decided not to. I'm glad the logo shows his personality very well. Anyway, I wanted to see what it looked like if I put a border around the coat of arms, and I ended up liking it, so I committed to it. So after finishing it and adding the final touches, here it is. Beautiful, isn't it? Behzinga. He, for whatever reason, can be the best or the worst Sideman in my opinion. For example, him cracking a joke where the whole group laughs, or a roast where the whole group laughs, except one in this case.
I'm richer than you and I'm more fucking relevant.
Theodore's had it, lad.
Blocked! You have been blocked. You have been virtually blocked. Do you want to be blocked as well?
Yes. He's a monster.
What is wrong with you? Huh? Are you on benefits?
And whatever else this was.
I will fucking go, fam. Let's go. You can't even get out. You can't even get out. Let's go, fam. Let's go.
Those moments are gold. I like to laugh too. It reminds me of doing dumb shit with the boys. However, some of his worst moments were all the ones where he was an arrogant male Karen. For example,
I'm telling them, they tapped on this with their phones. Oh yeah. They tapped on with their phones.
We're done. We're finished.
Finished!
This isn't a gonster either. Show him how you're doing
It's
your
not a
gon-
gonster.
You've not
Josh
made a
also
gonster.
said we can go and move.
That's
and
not a
hide.
gonster. That's not
You
a
said that
gonster.
before, you fucking melon. Get on the train, shut the fuck up. Why'd you get, he's not a gunster, he's not a gunster. No one cares, mate.
How's not a gonster?
Bastard.
Anyway, the guy went through some shit just like I did with this flag. You'll see. Before the Sidemen were where they're now, they had a diss track battle, which was a low for the Sidemen and also Behzinga. After that, or was it before, I can't remember, his depression hit, where he thought about killing himself because he was overweight, hence where this comes from.
Hit with some mean Behzinga quotes.
Ooh, I'm fat, I want to kill myself.
And that's what this uneven stripe represents. That was inspired by the new Utah flag, which looks way better than the old one. On the left of the coat of arms, you can see the struggles, the extreme ups and downs. On the right of the coat of arms, you can see the slow but steady rise of the Sidemen and Behzinga's life. Now, if you recall from like 30 seconds ago, you may remember I went through some shit while making this flag. Well, if you pay attention, the amount of variations I had to make because none of them feel right. I mainly struggled with the color layout since I wanted to include yellow for his logo and a olive green for his daughter named Olive, which I thought was very clever. Now at this point of making the flag, I was 2 hours in and still had to do Zerkaa's flag, so I got lazy and put Ethan's logo in the center and couldn't be bothered to make a separate coat of arms. It was put inside a heptagon, which represents the 7 Sidemen, which are very important to Behzinga. But to not make the flag boring, I decided to add some olive branches, which look sick because of, well, his daughter, and again, because olive branches typically represent peace, which Ethan is at now. So after some fine tuning, here is the flag. Beautiful, isn't it? Zerkaa. I'm gonna be completely honest, I have no fucking clue how to start here. I have no fucking clue what to put on the flag. I don't really know enough about him compared to the other Sidemen. I know he had a partner, grey hair and no personality.
I'd rather watch paint dry. I'd rather watch paint dryer than you, oldie.
The guy to me is just like the filler Sidemen, just to make it sound. But in all seriousness, I'm gonna try my hardest despite me not having a clue what he is about. Because like he said, everyone deserves a chance.
I'd say, like, it'd be nice not to call boring because I feel like it puts people off from watching me. Because if I'm known as like, oh, he's the old and boring one, people won't give me the chance, you know? I deserve a chance.
So originally, I wanted to make a simple through-stripe flag, but upon further experimenting, just like Behzinga's flag, it didn't feel right. So I do what I usually do in this situation. I look at countries' flags to steal, permanently borrow the layout and copy it. Heavily inspired it into my flag. Yes. So I decided on a Czechia flag, just like I did with the Czech Second Life flag. Check it out the last video to learn more. But I didn't do any normal Czech flag. I put a black stripe through the center, where I put a grey stripe through it, which funny enough I took from Zerkaa's actual grey hair. Now, at least for me, this flag had two problems at this point. One, this black triangle is too empty for me, but more importantly, if I were to show you this flag right now and ask you which YouTuber this is, chances are you wouldn't have a clue what I'm on about. Either that, or you're gonna say some shit like, I don't know, Green Powerpuff Girl or some shit like that. Anyway, so for the coat of arms, I started by adding his logo onto the flag, and I put a circle around it, which then I thought this was going somewhere. So I decided to make it into a ring by adding a diamond on top, because he got engaged recently. And to finish it off, I colored the circles in the colors of his 4 channels, his main one being the diamond itself. Anyway, here's the flag. Beautiful, isn't it? Alright, that was it with the video. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and whatever else YouTubers say. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.